those days are really timeless because they're engraved in your mind with a little bit of blood, a little bit of pain, you know what I mean, a little bit of laughing.
I was fascinated with the fact that you could see a picture on the skin of some sort, but you couldn't feel it, and it couldn't wash off, and it couldn't fade.
Like every tattoo I have, I can tell you a story about.
You know, people always get the most significant events, you know, moments put on their bodies.
The two tattoos I have, they're not very, like, out there. They're not very visible just because they are sort of personal to me.
You remember when you did the tattoos, and it brings you to that time period.
Tattooing started at the caveman, worked its way into how it became a medicinal object and then a decorative object for displaying where you stood in your society. Now, the tattoo that was applied by the Japanese, very focused on the muscle tissue and the structure of the body and the placement of the tattoo. The electric tattoo machine was first invented by Thomas Edison by accident, and an Irish immigrant named Samuel O'Reilly took the invention from Thomas Edison and rebuilt it and changed it. After doing that, a gentleman named Charles Wagner, who put the patent on the first electric tattoo machine of modern day. That's what we still use today.
In those days, you would go in, it was illegal, so you had to go into wherever you knew through word of mouth, and you would go up to the apartment, and they would have pictures all along the walls, and at that time there was no sterilization, nothing.
You wouldn't even tattoo with gloves. Yeah, you would wear no protection, there would be no bagging, there would be just no covers on anything. They weren't squirt bottles, they were cups.
So we would take a wooden match, tie a needle, a sewing needle, around the wooden match, and you would puncture it into your skin.
It wasn't uncommon for a sailor to get drunk. You can't stay drunk and sail the drink, you know, the seaman.
It meant something. It meant, like, I traveled from this part of the world to that part of the world, and it was supposed to be there, and it was supposed to be ageless, and you earned it, so.
Anybody who had a tattoo years ago was, you know, they came out of jail, because that's where they would do. A lot of tattooed people were locked up.
And this stereotyping is still up to now, like, all these about tattoo business in general. Like, they dirty, they filthy talking, they kind of like culturally like the low-level class people, you know what I'm saying, which is not.
It's a power outlet to let the world know and to remind myself that I've got the power and not to let anybody take it. So don't be trying to plug in, you know what I mean? So I said I'm gonna wait until I know what I want to get and something that I'm gonna have for the rest of my life. So I'm not looking at it like, a dragon, what's that, you know?
Today things have really changed because of the artistry that we can do today, where so many more people today are involved in tattooing that have art degrees. I went to college. That are very sophisticated artists could now produce sophisticated art on tissue, on, you know, tattoos.
It's no longer street science, you know? It's something we can teach to the next generation of tattoo artists little by little.
I see skin as an empty canvas. So, and I think that canvas has to be filled with something, like pictures or something beautiful.
So tattooing has gotten very sophisticated, but it's also gotten very personal, more personal than it's ever been ever.
He died of a heart attack. He had a couple before he died, so I got that while I was in high school. I was 18, and I got that for him.
I have tattoos that really mean a lot to me. For instance, this tattoo right here. It's a Dharma wheel, and it came from Tibetan culture, and it means circle of life.
So when I started my clothing line, I had a part-time job helping a family, and the mother was going through breast cancer, and I was like a nanny for her 2 kids and just helping out with the family, and she ended up passing away from breast cancer, so this is my little pink star for her.
I have many questions. I'm very into philosophy, so I have other tattoos on me that really strengthens who I am. Each time I look at them, like, I remember why I have it for, why it's there, and just makes me smile.
I have 2 tattoos. One is perspective lines on my wrist, and the other one is cogito ergo sum on my stomach. It means I think therefore I am in Latin. It's a quote by Jean-Paul Sartre, and it just keeps me in line. It's a little reminder.
I'm becoming a cop, so I wasn't really sure like what fields I would be getting into, if I should get it or not. But I mean, I talked to a lot of people. I talked to some people in like secret services, like the FBI, CIA, and they all said it really doesn't matter anymore. Like now, like everyone's open to tattoos, so.
Well, I think that certain tattoos should be timeless, because if you get a tattoo when you're younger with an event that had happened that day, every time you see that tattoo, it'll remind you of what you did that day.
I think it has to do more with man's need to express themselves. So those things are, those things, basically, I believe they're true. I believe that people can get tattooed and hold on to all those little memories.
When you get a tattoo, you go in with the intention of having it for the rest of your life, usually to commemorate something, or it's just something you like to look at.
This one was an engagement tattoo.
It just sort of, it offered some kind of solace to just think of how fortunate I am in comparison to a lot of other people. So just thinking about how minute my problems were in perspective.
When I went to college in California from Oregon, after the first month, it was kind of a rough transition, and my boyfriend broke up with me, and I was like, I'm just gonna go get tattoos.
I think it's strange because like after you have something on you, it has a meaning of its own. It becomes part of the individual.
A tattoo is very important, because a tattoo lets you express of who you are and what you believe in on the outside of your body.
It gives certain ability to express yourself as a person. You know, there's nothing like expressing yourself. There's no better canvas than living canvas. You know, there's no better feeling than giving a person a beautiful tattoo.
I think the most important thing right now is for people to realize that, you know, even though they are in many ways frivolous and fun, I think they're just as necessary to, I think, our culture and just the world around us. They add beauty and they give us, you know, control. We can control the landscape around us with them.